Alright, and it's time to put the theory into practice. It's all very well to understand the theory of the resistance training exercise sequence, but now we want to work out where do we start and then how do we progress. So here's a simple formula for you, and if you try this at home, I'm sure you'll get the levels just about right for you. What I want you to do is take the exercise chart from the busting free sequence. It's got all the exercises and all of the levels on it. Choose level 1 and attempt one set on each exercise at level 1. And do as many repetitions as you can on that particular set. Now if, for example, you get to 12 or 13 or 14 repetitions, we want to take about a 2-minute break. Give yourself a rest and then select the same exercise from the level 2 sequence and attempt another set. Do as many repetitions as you can and see how far you get. If you're perhaps to get through to level, so say to 15 repetitions again, then we need to select the same exercise from level 3. You keep working through that formula until you get to a level for that particular exercise where you get to about 10 repetitions and you're fairly taxed at that level. You repeat that same process for all of the exercises through the levels, and you work out the best starting level for you for each exercise. Now, a couple of things that are important to remember there. Number one, it's more difficult to complete 3 sets than it is to complete 1. So keep that in the back of your mind and just err on the side of caution. Don't push yourself too hard. You can always progress through the levels later on. You also need to remember that you may be at a different level for each of the exercises in the sequence. You might, for example, be at level 2 for the push-up, but level 4 for the abdominal sequence. That's fine, and remember that you're not going to stay at each one of those levels for very long. As you do your workouts through the week, you're going to find yourself progressing through those levels before you know it. Alright, the next point we'd like to make is that it's really important to do 3 resistance training sessions per week. We want to make sure that you have at least 1 rest day between those sessions. So for example, if you train the resistance training physical activity sequence on a Monday, don't do it again on a Tuesday. You want to leave it until at least Wednesday before you try that again. That gives the body the best chance to recover, regenerate, and make those adaptations, and the progress give you the best chance of progressing up to the next level. The next point, of course, is that the body takes a little while to adapt to each one of these levels. So generally we're looking at spending about 4 weeks at each level before you progress or attempt to progress to the next level. Now you can try a little trick mid-level if you want. If after 2 weeks you feel like you're handling it quite well, try the same experiment that you did to ascertain your starting levels at the beginning. Choose an exercise from the level above and have one go, just one set, and do as many repetitions as you can. If you can handle 10 or 11 or maybe 12, you may be ready to move on to the next level a little early. So give that one a go. Alright, we've already mentioned the fact that you need to have a full rest day in between each workout, and that's really important. Remember that you need to eat well and rest well between workouts. Maybe you can put some cardio training on that rest day or the day that you don't do resistance training, so you still feel like you're being active with your physical activity program. Okay, another really important point in terms of the performance of the individual exercises themselves: slow and controlled. Have in the back of your mind that you're controlling your body or you're controlling the muscles and they're not controlling you. If you ever feel like you're out of control and you're lowering yourself down too fast in a pull-up, for example, then it may be that you're trying too hard and you may be at a level that it's a little bit too high. We want to make sure that you can complete all of your repetitions in a slow and controlled manner. So a little bit of a guide for that is 3 slow second counts, or a 3-second count slowly on the way down, and then a 3-second count slowly on the way up. 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up. A little different with the holds, of course. 30 seconds is 30 seconds there, so there's no shortcuts at all. For those people that might have a few doubts about health issues, perhaps you've got a bit of a medical history, you might have an old injury, you're not too sure whether you're ready to start a resistance training program yet, please consult your doctor. Most important, that if you feel there are any physical limitations on you completing the exercise sequences at all, go and see your doctor, err on the side of caution, get his or her okay before you make a start. That's a really important point, and I can't emphasise that enough. One last point is that it's quite difficult sometimes transitioning from one level to the next level. Some of the exercises, that's more noticeable than it is with others. I'd just like to make the point that when you do transition, say from level 3 to level 4, it's okay if you're finding it a little bit difficult to just complete partial sets there. So for example, if you can't quite get to 10 repetitions, you can only get to 8, and you need to really sacrifice your form to get to 10, then stay at 8. 8's fine. You might find that you need to do sets of 8 for the first week or two before you move up to the full sets of 10. If you need to spend an extra week at that particular level to accommodate your progression through the sequence, then that's also okay. Not too rigid, be a little bit flexible and listen to your body. That one's really important. Stick to these points, get started as soon as you can, and you'll find yourself moving through to level 5 before you know it. Best of luck.